And so I think also want to talk about protection and retention of team members. And so it's absolutely a risk that a team member comes in, learns everything you do, you level them up, you polish them up, you present them as an expert, and then they use their skill set to compete against you. And this happens a lot. And so the third thing that should really be on here, and this is lessons learned from Drake, is so I think there is, NDAs and non-competes, I think for if you're really going to open the floodgate of investment into somebody are fair. And just making it clear from day one, like, look, I'm not introducing you to all my clients and teaching you everything I know if you're going to turn around and compete against me. And so I think it's not good enough just to have that be said and agreed on. And like we found, I think the solution to a lot of the horse world's problems is to move away from just handshake agreements and to have actual agreements around important things. And then if you do have a really good team member, I think you should fight to retain them. And that's where you've got competitive compensation. You give them commissions, I think, on when a new client, if they give a great intro lesson and that client is like, yeah, I'm signing up, like, nice to give them a commission there. If they upgrade, like you said, like having a really good role model, and the barns that do have more advanced riding in it, they do get more upgrades. The barns that only do beginner lessons, it is harder to get them to go to twice a week when they don't really have that role model that rides. Like, every now and then you see somebody and you're like, that looks cool. It's not that cool. Like, riding is one of those sports where it's not that cool. It takes a long time. It's like skiing, or tennis. Like, the first few years, like, look nothing like the fantasy of what you really can't, want. You're like, a lot of people are like, yeah, I don't want a lesson. I just want to borrow your horse and just go gallop all around your property and go jump stuff, You'll get those calls. And I'm like, I hear you. I'd love to do that too. But you're obviously like, yeah, I'm not giving you my horse. I never met you. And they're like, how about I give you $50 and just take your horse and just go play, And that's what most people like. I relate to that, like, and unfortunately, it's like you need years of lessons before you do that, right? And then you need a relationship with somebody that's going to, like, give you their horse or get your own, because most people aren't going to let you do that with their horse. So I think, when you get somebody to upgrade, you should give them a commission. If you're going to, the other thing too, like, buying and selling horses sounds like so much fun. And I borrowed a bunch of money and I went to Europe, and I'm like, this is my dream job. Borrowing a bunch of money, going to Europe, trying the best horses I can with that budget, making a great choice, flying back with them, showing them, competing them, and then ultimately selling them. And I did that. Like most things, the reality of it was a lot of driving, looking at these horses. And it was cold, and I would drive for like 4 hours, get out of the car, have to get on like 6 horses that I didn't know, and jump right around, very stressful. Make a good decision, stressful. And then as soon as that horse was going really well, it sold, right? And so ultimately, like, the ultimate dream was I just really wanted to ride a really nice horse all the time and not have to sell it. Like, that's really what I wanted. So what I do now is I tell my team, like, and they're still young and excited about this, as they should be, like, you're going to get to go try all these lesson horses and tell me which one you think we should get, right? And you'll make a commission when we buy and sell our horses. And guess what? You get to show these horses to prospective buyers, right? Like, at a certain point in your career, like, that's fun, you know? I don't really want to do it anymore. So you know, that is, I mean, compared to a lot of jobs, like, give them, you know, and then give them perks. Like, every little perk you give them locks them in a little bit more, right? Where they get lessons, they could have an investment horse of their own, or their own horse could live there. And then I recently created a 401k for Meg, and so there's a profit sharing component of that. And then there's employee stock ownership plans. So you can give people a piece of the business if you want. So those are retention tools to maybe lock in, because there will come a little team that you can go to war with. Like, I got a good feeling about Josh and Tina. Like, our team is like a little team that you feel like you can go to war with. Like Josh and Tina. I got Meg, Farah, Ranjit, and Dabir. If you have a good little team, like, you wanna figure out how to retain them too. So you got those both things. And then the story of Drake is that I've been following, and I thought there was going to be like some Gen Z in here maybe, so this might go. Who's following like the Drake Kendrick Lamar beef? Just Jenny? Dwight?
I know of it.
Yeah.
I haven't followed it, but I know it's there.
Yeah. What's your take on the Drake Kendrick Lamar beef, Dwight?
I think Drake quit.
Wrong.
He lost because he quit.
Wrong. I think that's wrong.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
So who's Drake?
So Drake is like a hip hop R&B artist. Probably like the biggest selling. He might be like the biggest selling artist of all time. Like, I think his numbers go toe to toe with like Michael Jackson in terms of like records sold.
Record sales.
And song. Now it's different because there's like streams, you know, so it's not exactly apples to apples, but I think he's probably the most streamed artist in history, hip hop and R&B artist.
You might recognize his songs if you heard them.
Yeah. And Kendrick Lamar, and I can't really get behind the beef, Dwight, because like Tupac, like it's the same. You guys might remember like Tupac and Biggie fighting each other. You don't even remember Tupac and anybody remember Tupac and Biggie? Like, so Tupac got shot, and Biggie made a song called "Who Shot Ya," kind of making fun of him, and that set Tupac off. And then they just made songs back and forth, like dissing each other. And so Kendrick made like the biggest diss song ever against Drake, but it all started because Drake was on a track with J. Cole, and J. Cole said, "Me, Drake, and Kendrick are the three kings of hip hop." And Kendrick took so much offense that they didn't say he was the only king of hip hop. And so I'm like, if like two influential artists say like me and Brian and like this other guy are the best, like that's not going to trigger like a war with me. You know what I mean? So I can't get behind the reason for it. But he released a song that went absolutely viral and won Grammys for it. That basically is calling Drake a pedophile and all sorts of other things.
And he sang it at the Super Bowl.
And they played him at the Super Bowl. You guys didn't know
He was the guy
That was the guy at the Super Bowl?
Yeah, and the whole song is basically just dissing Drake. And so Drake, to me, was like destroyed. So I'm looking at like, you know, how do you, like, when somebody else, a colleague, whatever it is, comes out to destroy you, right, and kind of succeeds, like wins Grammys, plays at the Super Bowl, just destroying you, how do you bounce back from that? And I was the same thing with like Dwight. I was like, Drake's toast. His career is over. But he did launch a lawsuit. So I think that there is, in certain cases, like it helps when you do have a legal team that, but you can't, like my other client, you can't get consumed by it. Like if it's gonna take more than like an hour of your time and it's just gonna be like all you're doing. But I mean, he's got a big enough team where his legal, you know, he can just be like, legal team, like do something. But then you continue making great music that only you can make, and you continue, all you can really do is just continue doing. So he recently, Dwight, you might not know this, but since then, he put out a new song, Some Sexy Songs for You. It got 56 million streams on Spotify. It's projected to debut at #1. This is since then. He's got a #1. Drake.
Since the Super Bowl?
Since the Super Bowl, he's got a new, check it out. Some Sexy Songs for You. It's coming out at #1.